From Colorado's high-definition news leader, this is 9 News.
Good evening, and thank you for joining me for this special 9 News Quick Update. I'm Vignesh Ramachandran. We begin this update with the hottest ticket item in town, the iPad from Apple. It's flying off the shelves at the Cherry Creek Mall, but one man's shopping experience buying the iPad was anything but ordinary. At the Apple store in Cherry Creek, everyone wants to get their hands on the new iPad. Yes, even these two took a break from their day to play with their new gadgets.
We love them. We just got them 2 hours ago.
But before one man got to take a new iPad back for his colleague, it was snatched from him. Surveillance video captured the theft as it happened to Bill Jordan at the mall.
I was ready to go out to the garage and I felt this huge pull on my arm and then another yank.
But the iPad wasn't the only thing that Bill lost that day.
It happened like lightning, and he was like pulling with all of his might, probably thinking he could just pull it out of my hand and be gone very quickly. But it was the cord I had wrapped around my fingers.
Doctors say his pinky had to be amputated.
I thought there was going to be more that they could save, but it was opened up to the bone all the way up to the top. And like I told my wife when I saw that, I kind of figured right away they weren't going to be able to save that.
Denver police say they're still investigating and trying to find the culprit.
Hopefully by releasing this tape, we're going to hopefully get some identification as to idea of who they are, actually.
So while the iPad can be replaced, Bill's injury will always be a reminder of that day. Was it worth it, he questions.
You know, in my mind, that something like that is worth hurting someone over. And causing something like this.
It's something he may never know the answer to until the suspect is caught. This is Vignesh Ramachandran. If you have any information about this case, you can contact Denver Police. Medical marijuana continues to make the headlines here in Colorado, and the controversy is far from over. Earlier this week, state lawmakers debated about possible regulations for medical marijuana dispensaries. Currently, Colorado law is not that clear about any specific regulations, but some are worried that new rules could violate the voter-approved medical marijuana measure that passed a decade ago. With the unemployment rate still at a staggering high, many unemployed Coloradans are turning to the internet to find jobs. But our investigations have found that there are a number of online scams out there to watch out for. Surfing the net to find work may be convenient on Craigslist, but it can come back to bite you in the wallet if you're not careful. Max Morales found that out the hard way.
It all started with me accessing Craigslist, looking for work.
Morales simply answered a job posting and soon received a check in the mail. It all seemed to be going okay until he found out the check was a fraud.
If you've deposited that check and removed those funds, you are now on the hook for those funds, and your bank will take those out of your account.
It's all part of an elaborate scheme to take advantage of people looking for work.
Just knowing that I lost $9,500 because of this scam that I just went through is devastating.
If it sounds too good to be true, it probably is.
Our approach to this is prevention and getting the word out and educating people that if this happens, don't take that check to your bank and deposit it.
It's best to think twice before hitting that send button in response to a job posting. Authorities say to contact local law enforcement if you think you're being scammed. Now, Craigslist says 99% of scams on their site can be avoided by dealing with people locally face to face. No one likes the sound of paying more for anything, but college students who are already cash-strapped may soon have to fork over more cash. A bill making its way through the Senate would allow colleges in Colorado to more easily set tuition rates. Even without this bill, area schools like CU have already raised tuition for next year by 9%. This all comes in the middle of a statewide budget shortfall for higher education, and in the next year, funding will be cut by $300 million. For those that did make it through those 4 years, there's one thing that comes before getting that first job: graduation. Thousands packed Folsom Field in Boulder yesterday for the University of Colorado's 2010 commencement. Graduating students weren't the only ones who were excited about their accomplishments. One CU dad was especially proud.
Just like all other parents, we're real proud of her, and her family's proud of her, and we're excited for her. It's a new life starting today.
On a different note, you might have already put away your skis and snowboards for the season by now, but a ski industry report says that visits to ski resorts around the nation rose 4.2% last season, and that's the second best on record. Certainly good news for Colorado. And speaking of snow, we don't have any now because spring is in the air, and that means many of us are starting those projects around the home, which means countless trips to the hardware store. But at Lowe's and Parker, you might want to look up, and you might just get more than what you bargained for. At Lowe's and Parker, manager Bart Knight opens the doors to the store bright and early each morning. But recently, some new characters have been welcoming themselves inside.
They've been here for about 3 years, and they just kind of come and go, you know, as they please. We don't mess with them. They don't mess with us, really.
No, we haven't named him yet.
She probably won't come as long as there's somebody around.
She hasn't been gone for a long time. You know, she may not come back all day. You know that feeling?
Whoever she is, she lives up there. Is it some kind of animal? A bird, maybe? A store employee decided to show the camera for himself. Birds they were, but no ordinary kind. In fact, these are newborn great horned owls. But where were Mom and Dad? Camera shy, perhaps?
This spring, obviously, or earlier this winter, if you will, they put a nest up here in our pallet of soil, and there's a male bird that's a pretty large bird that's generally only here in the mornings and come back late in the evenings, and the mother typically sits up there and they have some eggs up there, and from what I understand, those things hatched last night at 10:30.
But returning the next day, the adult owls decided it might finally be time for their close-up. Knight says they are planning on letting the new tenants make themselves at home, at least for the time being.
You know, we really just don't want to mess with them. We want to help them out. Maybe we can obviously get that species back off the endangered species list.
So while you might be in the store for a bag of soil or mulch for your garden, look up and you might just be lucky enough to see these natural wonders. With 9 News reporter Brooke Thacker and 9 News photojournalist Andy Buck, this is Vignesh Ramachandran. Now, store management say they have been in contact with the Department of Wildlife to ensure the owl's safety. That does it for this evening's 9 News Quick Update. Thank you for joining me and have a great night.